Welcome to the JoContractor Show, a podcast created by three regular Joes. The JoContractor Show is a place where trade professionals, business owners, and homeowners looking for solid advice and amusement can hear stories of great success and great failure in the turbulent and unpredictable world of construction. On the JoContractor Show, we dig deep into the realm of remodeling and construction. We chat with construction trade professionals, business owners, and homeowners alike. We support local independent contractors and those who put their trust in the hands of these capable and hardworking business owners and tradespeople. We discuss construction and home maintenance from multiple angles, and we do it with compassion, purpose, and humor. Listen as Lori, Merrick, and Sam, along with a wide variety of guests, explore topics related to construction, home ownership, small business creation, and more. A quick reminder, don't forget to send your questions to questions@JoContractorshow.com. And after you've done that, please take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe, or talk about us tomorrow morning at the local coffee shop. We appreciate feedback and critique, and it lets us know that you're out there and that you care.
Well, we're going. So, hello.
Hello, Sam, Merrick. Yay.
Hi, Lori.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you too. It's we just had one a couple of weeks ago, right? That was Damaris. Yep. But anyway, welcome everybody to the JoContractor Show.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
It's been a while since it was just the three of us with no guest. I
know.
Since the construction quickies.
Oh, that's true. In the spring, wasn't it? The spring.
Yeah, I mean...
Summer's gone. What?
It's over. It's important that we get in here and have a little conversation amongst the three of us every now and again, too. So
And then we can focus on us.
Yeah. Speaking of, how are things going? Merrick, I know we had a meeting today, and you were in the midst of... you conducted the meeting while... caulking your cabinetry.
Amazing for doing multitasking there, Merrick.
Yeah, I've got a lot going on with trying to get my entire house done. I have family coming into town for a adoption event for my daughters who are teenagers. Yeah. So I think we have like 50 people coming to our house.
Wow.
And it's like under construction right now. Like the basement's got the drywall's mudded, and we had I was like, oh shoot, I found mold in the bathroom upstairs. So I was like, okay, well I better do that. And then
of course.
And then it leaked. And I better do the kitchen at the same time.
Oh god.
So now I'm doing the bathroom, kitchen, and the basement. And
when are they coming?
Yeah, on the 21st, so we have like
21st of October.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I have 2 weeks.
Wow.
You're like your own worst client.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The client that's like, oh, by the way, this has to be done by this date because we've got this going on. And you're like,
totally.
Oh, that's cool, but I don't think we're gonna get there.
No, we can't do that.
It's usually Thanksgiving. You know, here in Minnesota anyway, in the fall, it's always like. So you've got to be done by Thanksgiving. And I'm like, sure.
Usually I'm like, how about Christmas?
Yeah, I know. Like, that's the backup. You can have Christmas this year. You're not going to make Thanksgiving.
No.
This will be my first time owning a house that's completely done, though.
So you've done, I mean, are we saying completely? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Top to bottom?
Sure. Yep. The next thing, it'll be completely done. Maybe some painting or some little things to do here and there, but...
What about the exterior?
That's all.
It's all buttoned up.
Wow.
Gonna be. I mean, it's close.
I know. I always envy
I'm a little
people.
jealous.
Yeah, yeah. The folks who move into a brand new house and everything's done.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pain to get it done, though. I'm kind of squeezing 4 years of pain into like 1 month, where I'm just like, get it done.
You do look a little tired.
I'm beat. Yeah, I am.
That's code for you look like crap.
Yeah, well, at least nobody can see me on the airwaves here.
We're all
true.
Yeah, people. You know, that's an old thing, right? That if you can't make it in television, you go to radio because you're not good enough looking, right? But I don't know
about
you
us
two are pretty
three,
good looking, yeah.
We should get
On a good day.
It's so self-serving too.
Totally. I don't mind not having to look nice for this.
Yeah, it's a podcast.
And
So
we're construction. We don't have to look nice.
no, that's right. We're all construction folks. So if you're new to the show, or if you've been a listener for a while, it's fine. You can adjust your mic. It's all right.
Made a noise.
It does make noise. If you're new to the show, so the JoContractor show, we should just sort of explain what it's all about. So we have 3 different types of shows that we sometimes record. If you look back in our archives, we've got Construction Quickies, which are just short segments, 15 minutes-ish long, where we talk about a single aspect of construction, and we kind of break down what you, if you are a homeowner, might need to know to get started in that, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what episodes we've done? I know we did roofing. We did
Gutters, landscape,
siding, windows, insulation. Yeah. So if you've
Quite a
got
few. Quite a few.
there's a few more in there. We'll do more of those in the future too. So if you've got questions about any aspect of kind of what's going on with your house, you may refer to those and see if you can find out some information. And then Lori always says good luck at the end.
Yeah, good luck.
Just like that. Which is, I mean, if you didn't hear it, I hear in that a little bit of like, oh man, you're screwed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
I think
That's what I hear.
Well, we've seen a few homeowner specials.
That's right. And then we've got another fun series that we do is our question and answer one. And I swear unto you guys, right now, we are going to get this call-in thing working because there's a new recorder out there from the same company that makes it real easy to do call-ins now. Yeah. So we'll get some call-in shows with our question and
Sweet.
answer.
Techie.
Yep, very techie.
we did have some live questions on one of our Q&As, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. So I think what we'll try and do, and you're listening to this show and you're listening to us figure out life and what we're doing. But I think what we'll do is we'll set up maybe once a quarter or something like that, a live show way out in advance so that people know when, so we can get some more people calling in. Because those are a lot of fun.
That's probably pretty smart, Sam.
Doesn't that sound smart? That's
Day of? Anybody out there?
Yeah, we do sometimes just sort of fly by the seat of our pants here.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. And then we have episodes where we interview all various types of people in the construction world, whether that's interns here, and we love to highlight younger folks getting into construction and explain to them that it's sexy these days. It's real glamorous.
It's sexy.
We're bringing construction back to sexy. I like it. Yeah. Or sexy back to construction,
Yeah,
whatever.
I think that's it.
Yeah, something like that. That's a Justin Timberlake song, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm bringing sexy back.
back.
Yep. Anyway, Merrick's face. But those shows, we've had architects, we've had roofers, we've had
Designers.
homeowners, we've had, just people of all sorts. We've got our
Suppliers.
dogs in the studio today,
Oh.
Lori's dogs.
Yeah, definitely. She wants to give her 2 cents.
She's looking to bark at something. So those are the types of shows we do. And so thanks for listening. We do have a lovely audience out there, and we really appreciate you listening. And so here today, we don't have anyone, and that's good. Every now and again, we've got to do that. And so we just want to let you get to know us a little bit. Lori, what's going on in your world?
Well, I'm hoping to start remodeling my kitchen.
Are you really? What is it with you two?
don't-
You do this for a living. You're supposed to stay away from it.
I need to be done. I want to be like Merrick and just be done. That's my last. Well, maybe not. That's not my last one. But that is something that's going to happen. But the most exciting piece, it is October. We're trying to cram out those jobs before the snow flies, and the roofs are part of it. And if you're doing an addition and your roofer isn't available, you want to make sure you're on top of your calendar, because if you get that addition up and can't get a shingled roof or a metal roof on it, you're SOL.
Right.
So we tore a roof off. So it's very exciting. We love projects like this. And then we tore the middle of a house, put it in, if you think of thirds, we left the front third and the back third, and we tore out the whole middle roof section, and we're putting a 2-story addition in the middle of it. So it's, and then it's a 6-foot addition, 14 foot off the side of it too. So foundation, we're about a month or two behind because
Because it's construction.
That's what I was thinking.
No, concrete excavator wasn't available. The trusses, which were 2 weeks out, ended up to be 6 or 8 weeks out. But when we asked them, it was 2. So when we ordered them, it was 8. So,
Of course.
Anyway, so that's very exciting. And what's really exciting is that when I go to the job site and the crew is excited because these are really fun, challenging projects. And so
Yeah.
they're just happy, and I'm happy because I love these kind of projects too.
It's so transformative is the thing.
Oh, it's huge.
You take a house that's maybe not fully functioning the right way for someone and
Yeah.
their family, and then you do this, and at the end it's like, we love our house.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing. They went from 2 little rooms upstairs. Yeah, 2 little rooms. It's going to have 3 bedrooms. One will be a big bedroom and a full bathroom, a nice hallway. And
Yeah, I visited a friend for whom I had done major construction projects over the years, and the big one that we did was we completely reimagined the layout of their main level in a 1920s house or whatever, and it fixed an issue. They had a really cut up weird little kitchen, and their back entry didn't work, and they had no mud room and no powder room on that level and stuff. And we fixed all of those issues, and I went and visited them, and they were sitting there with their family, and they just love their house now. And it's been that way
love
for
that.
years. Yeah.
Is this that house that I first worked with you on? The
Quite-
blue one?
Quite possibly.
It was like,
Oh no,
Is
no,
the whole house?
No, that was down in Burnsville. No, that was a different house.
oh, okay.
But- no, yeah,
Yeah.
those were some of my favorite projects, though, when you really get into
Yeah.
it and give them a whole new thing.
And not to say that I'm not sleeping at night right now when you got a whole roof off and you're hoping for not a big thunderstorm, which we just got lucky and didn't choose to take the roof off, cut it off last week
Right.
before the weekend, which we had a huge thunderstorm.
Several inches of
Lots
rain.
of rain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a little terrifying.
I only know that because I've made that's happened to me before on a project. So, live and learn, and that's why I lose a little sleep. But things are looking okay so far. You can only tarp so much in a big thunderstorm.
Right.
But,
Yep.
but I had insurance.
Yeah, that's the way it works. That's the life of construction right now. I'm doing my tile work still, and I've got a couple of contractors that I'm working for, and I won't mention any names. They're great, but I'm watching them run around in construction chaos land, and I'm thankful for not being a full-fledged contractor anymore right now. There's just so much to it.
So much.
Yeah. Yep. You've got kind of a well-oiled machine here and a great staff, and
Oh,
it shares you spread the load out a little bit.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. I'm glad it appears that way. No, I do. I pass it on for sure, and give everybody decision making and brainstorming, and we come up with the answers together. So that's
Yeah.
good. A little less stress for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps to do that. So,
Yeah.
so normally when we interview people, and I'm going to treat this slightly like that. Normally we at some point we get to the point where we ask them something like, "So what do you do for fun?" So we're talking construction here, but Merrick, what else do you do? Beside this, I know this is the most important thing you do, this podcast.
Yeah.
And then,
Yes. Yeah.
and then, he looked at me very confused there for a minute. And then construction, and what else you got going on?
Well, I'm completely consumed with this whole house remodel. So right now I don't have any hobbies. I don't do anything for fun. I like to go out to eat with a friend once a week is kind of my one thing. But
Really?
once, what's that?
I just don't you have like a set date night kind of thing.
Yeah,
that you go out and eat.
Yeah, my buddy Jackson and I, we go out and we grab We
Different
grab dinner and
places?
check in, once a week.
Oh, that's kind of
Pretty
funny.
much.
I just
Same
wouldn't-
place or different place?
Yeah, usually Fogo downtown.
Okay.
Oh,
It's kind
Fogo
of
de
our
Chao.
spot, Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have guessed that, I would say.
Yeah, so that and then I love photography. So once my house is done and I actually have a little bit of normalcy in my life where I'd like to pick back up on the photography. I'm really into prepping stuff,
Oh, you mean like
hoarding food and like
like doomsday prepping?
radios.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
Like ham radios and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's funny.
So that's kind of my other hobby, like having a bag in my truck that has like everything, so I could just like go to a hotel. I don't even have to go home first.
The bug out bag.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
See, I speak some of the lingo.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it really, but I always sort of envision if things get bad enough where all of the preppers who are fully prepared for everything are in a position where they're like, yeah, someone's going to come along and take their stuff.
right. That's why they have lots of guns too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I decided that let them prep, and I'll just always be a good friend.
Yeah.
I can come along with them if
You
I
can
needed
provide
to.
value.
I totally could.
Yeah.
You'd want me on the island with you. If
Merrick's
need
looking
be.
at both of us like, I'm not sure he does. Anyway.
Well, in my house, I found so there was like a secret room in my house that was full of coal. Because there's an old coal-fired boiler.
Yeah.
So like we dug this thing out. It was sloped so that all the coal would go down the coal chute.
Sure.
But I pulled like 15 contractor bags full of coal, and like I couldn't get rid of these.
No.
And I'm like, this is like some like real prepper stuff here. This is a fuel source that will last forever. And then I started thinking, if it got bad enough that I'm burning coal in my house, it'd be like flying a big flag over the top where it's like, this black smoke coming out of my chimney.
Only at night. Only at night.
Where do you keep all this coal? It
Right.
was really hard for me to get rid of.
But you did in the
Yeah,
end.
I ended up just sending it to the dump because what are you going to do?
Man, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know,
isn't that rough? I
Can't you
know.
grill?
No,
I don't think
coal.
Well, if you want your food to be stinky, you can use it. You can use it as like if it's in a different chamber than the one that the food is. They do use coal to cook stuff, but it's like coal-fired pizza and stuff. But it's not like
Right underneath?
no,
Right.
not in the
It's-
same, not in the same unit.
I'm sure it's carcinogenic.
Yeah. I can tell I'm not the griller in the family.
That's charcoal, which is different. Yes, I spent some time in Germany, and I ended up staying for a few days in East Germany. And the place we were staying, they still heated, like everything was still heated by coal. So you'd get up in the morning, and you'd go down to the corner, and there was someone set up with a little wagon full of coal, and you'd give them a few bucks and buy your little chunks of coal and then bring it up, and then each room had its own little coal-fired furnace in it. I thought that
Wow.
was really cool.
Wow.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, like super old school. It's kind of neat. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's my experience with coal.
What about you, Sam? What's your what do you do for fun other than work and podcast?
Lots of podcasting. So a few years back, I do a lot of fishing. I do some other stuff, but we've got land up north that we spend quite a bit of time at. But a few years back, on the drive up to our land up north, which is 4 hours from where we live, I said to my then maybe 8 and 10-year-old boys, boy, I wonder what it would be like to walk up here. I've driven this route hundreds and hundreds of times in my life. What if you walked, And I was just joking around. But kids are so weird. It's been like 8 years, and every year since then, my son Maddox asks me, what about walking to the land, Dad? And when are we going to walk to the land? So this year we're doing that. We're doing that walk in a couple of weeks. So that's, I guess, my new hobby is walking. long distances.
And so you've got it mapped out and know how long it'll take you, right?
Longer than we have, I assume. Yeah, it's like 25 miles a day for 9 days straight. It's 240 miles. I keep telling the boys, we're going to raise money for cancer. We're already doing that for multiple myeloma research and for pancreatic cancer research, because my father's got multiple myeloma right now, and he's going through an experimental treatment, and if it's successful, it's going to be great, but like that stuff doesn't happen without people helping them. So anyway,
That's great.
And then a good friend of ours survived pancreatic cancer a few years ago, and by all accounts, she wasn't supposed to. So I'm really glad she did, obviously. But anyway, what I've told the boys and other people is we're going to walk for 9 days. Like if I walk from Minneapolis to Brainerd, I'll still think that's crazy. I'll still think that's really cool.
Yeah, totally impressive.
Yeah, if we make it up to Walker, wow, even better. But if we can make it to Pennington, that will be quite extraordinary. So, and I think for me, mostly that's about following through on things with kids. I said the thing, it stuck. I kind of have to follow through.
And they really want to do it.
Yeah, and my boys will be off chasing partners, and they'll be going to college and facing their dreams or chasing their dreams soon enough, and I'll never see them because they're going to be brats about it, I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I might as well take a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Right.
I think it's very cool.
Yeah. So I think after the walk, though, walking will not be my hobby. It's just for now, just a means to an end. But if it was 400 miles of canoeing, I'd be like, oh sure, I know how that works.
That is your main hobby,
Yeah.
right? Canoeing, fishing, and camping.
Yeah. Yep, we are. Next year we'll go on a 7-day, 200 and some mile canoe trip, and the following year we're going on another 450 mile Arctic trip with my two boys for the same reason, because they'll be gone after this.
Right.
So, yeah. So there's my hobbies.
I love that stuff, just going out into the wilderness and covering a bunch of ground and just being out there in a way. That'd be nice.
Yeah. It's the antithesis of construction. It's not chaos.
Right.
It's really
It's
nice.
boring, though.
I don't see that. What's boring about it?
I love it.
I don't know. It is not. I have the cabin up north, and I'm like, I love getting back to the city to see crazy and liveliness.
We
and
do have a lot of crazy around
I
here, don't
know.
we? Yeah.
And I can walk. I don't know. All the trees kind of look alike, and
There's
if I
nothing
go
wrong
out
with that.
biking, I have to come back the same path, and I can go around
It's
the
because you
city.
live on an island. There's only one way out and one way back.
True.
Yeah.
No, I love that piece of it, but I'm not a camper, and I'm not a canoeer.
Yeah, but you've done. I mean, you've had a very interesting, life. Really, you've done a lot of things. When it comes to the canoeing thing, like I am known for this, right? But I tell people, like, I don't go out canoeing all the time.
Yeah.
I just like to go on a big, long canoe trip every now and again.
Yeah, I would say I actually really do like canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding. I really do like all that stuff. Cross country skiing, and I love the quietness of the lake. But I get to go home and sleep in the cabin in a bed
Yeah.
every night.
I have a little chart of a scale of camping, right? And like a 1, if you're a 1 on there, you stay at the Four Seasons. Like that's the furthest into the wild you get. And 9 is Arctic canoe trip, because that's how I gauge things. And somewhere in the middle is like car camping and national park camping and then out in the wilderness stuff. And what I tell people is, if you don't, it's okay if you're only a 2 or a 3 or a 4, like that's fine. But like you can't jump more than like 1 or 2 levels at a time. You can't go from staying at the Hyatt to I'll take an Arctic canoe trip. Like it's the psychological part that messes with people.
And I do like being outdoors, even up till this weekend. Whenever I'm at the cabin or at our house here, the somebody turns on the TV, I just go outside. I'm always outside.
I think
I
of you
grab my
as-
food and sit outside.
Yeah, I think of you as an outdoor person.
Right.
But being an outdoor person doesn't necessarily mean that
Yeah.
you love to camp.
Yeah,
And
I grew
those
up
are
on a
two different
farm, and I'm
things.
like, why would you want to work that hard, setting up camp all the time? And then I did construction for a living.
Right.
But I love. So my hobbies would be. I'm going to just jump in
Yeah,
since I'm
yeah.
taking over here. But biking, canoeing, kayaking. I used to do triathlons, and my favorite was the triathlon. Who put it on here in the city? I can't think of the name. I will. But it was canoeing.
Oh, yeah.
You'd canoe through the lakes and end up in Brownie Lake from the Des Moines Cascade to the Isles to what's the next lake?
Harriet.
No, not Harriet.
No?
Anyways, 4 lakes. So you'd canoe
Okay.
for an hour in a race.
Yeah.
And people were tipping over, especially when
course.
you start off. And then you get out of your canoe and then you go for a run. And so you're running through the Theodore Wirth running, which
Mm-hmm.
was in the mud and dirt or whatever. And then you jumped on your mountain bike and went through Theodore Wirth again.
Yep.
And so I like that because it's in the woods, in the city, and but doing all those outdoor things, So
There's one up by Bemidji, up in
and then I don't have to
that
swim.
area where they do the same thing. Yeah, I forget
Yeah.
what that's called. That's a certain
Yeah, it's a
type of
different
triathlon.
right. Yeah. I love working out and doing those kinds of outdoor workouts.
Well, you're extremely fit. And were you, the rumor is, or the story is that you were once a rugby player. Is that correct?
That's right. And
Yeah.
the rumor is true. Yeah. I think
at a very high level, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
right?
that's true. I was, and I'm a has-been now, but but I've enjoyed most of the sports, outdoor sports, and I still do. And I love the lake, and I love music. I play music. I play drums, mostly drums, and I hope to get in a band again. But my house was in such disarray from my last remodel that I had to put my trap set away because there was no room for it. Take a break from the band, and then so that's a goal, is to get back into that again as soon as this kitchen is done.
Yeah. I am not doing any major construction projects on my own at my house. Like,
Is it
I
done?
did a lot of it a long time ago.
Yeah.
There isn't really anything left to do on my house, which is nice.
Nice.
But we've got a construction project up at our land that's been
Oh, yeah.
festering for 6 years or something. We
Right.
just keep getting one little chunk done at a time, and
But I think you get a lot of empathy for your clients when you work on your own place. You're like, oh, they really have to go through a lot.
it is. This is a show about construction, and yes, it is a ton to have your house torn apart. I think, any good contractor is going to be conscientious of that, of how much it really is
Yeah.
tough to be displaced from your house, or
Yeah.
or in your house. Like, a lot of people, you set up temporary kitchens and stuff, and then they live that way for 6 months. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think your scale, I was just been thinking about 1 through 9. So where is going out with a poncho and some fishing line and going out and just trying to eat squirrels and figure out what you can do to survive for a week. I think I think 9. I think you're maybe it's a
You wanna go to 15?
point scale.
Yeah, well, I think I've got it down pretty good, right? I think that would be a 10. It never
Okay,
went.
so it's just one notch above.
Yeah, it never went past 9 because if you've been up into the Arctic or subarctic, way, 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 way up there, you're almost
To that point.
survivalist
Yeah.
at that point.
Right.
The main difference being you've brought, you're trained. You've brought the equipment, you've brought food, you've got the gear you need, right? But other than that, it's basically a survival situation. There's no one there, no help is coming for, you can hit the button on the satellite locator and it's going to be 2 or 3 days before maybe a helicopter gets to you or whatever. You're way, way, way out. So, I would say if you did that but just didn't bring any food, really.
Yeah, maybe not that far away.
Then you're
I'm thinking like Theodore Wirth Park.
then you're just homeless. I'm sorry, that's so bad. I'm not trying to make jokes.
That's good, except too proud to eat a squirrel.
Right.
Like, there's a next like it's kind of.
Oh God.
Because that's what I've been thinking about. Because I've been like doing bushcraft and like different learning different survival skills and stuff. I'd love to just take a week, and I can just fast for a week. If I don't find any food, I'll just lose some weight and regulate a bunch of my body's chemicals or whatever. Just not eat.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking at me like I don't think it's nuts. But I do. But I like it. I like it. I think, anytime you can get out there and challenge yourself in those types of ways, it's good for you.
Yeah.
Challenge in any way is good, I think. You know, to be laissez-faire and do nothing, except sit on the couch in front of a TV.
Right.
There's the worst kind of athlete. Or
well, you're doing 12-ounce curls all the time. You got your Pabst Blue Ribbon next to you. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. All right, you guys. We should cut for a little break here in the middle. We did manage to fill our first 30 minutes of the show just talking to each other.
Yeah,
so
good learning a little more about you
yeah,
guys.
no kidding. We don't see each other enough, that's for sure.
Right.
No, we don't get a chance to talk, and here we did it, for our audience's pleasure.
My dogs haven't barked yet. Yay.
No, they've been being good. They're used to us doing this now. So, I hope you enjoyed getting to know us a little better. I know we enjoyed getting to know each other a little better. So, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back.
We will be back to the show after a few quick ads from our valued sponsors. Wonder Woman Construction is a Minneapolis-based, woman-owned residential and commercial construction and electrical company. Lori and her team pride themselves on their commitment to long-term green and sustainable building practices, and they apply their deep understanding of building science to each project they take on. They are dedicated to the complete satisfaction of every client. One more thing that you absolutely cannot miss about Wonder Woman Construction is the fact that every employee loves what they do and truly enjoys working with each other. The best projects are those that are done by happy people, and Wonder Woman Construction is full of happy people. Visit WonderWomanConstruction.com to get started on your happiest project ever. Kinetic Legacy is the company that powers the JoContractor app. Their unique platform blends the good parts of social tech with their one-of-a-kind data organizing system, giving communities large and small a safe, private space to stay connected and to keep information and memories organized. If you and your community have a shared purpose or passion and are looking for a better way to stay connected, contact Kinetic Legacy today at kineticlegacy.us. Find out how groups from contractors to campers, tribal communities, unions, and alumni organizations are finding their way to meaningful new spaces in this increasingly digital world. Again, that's kineticlegacy.us. The JoContractor Show doesn't let just any old company put an ad in the middle of a show this important. They have to pay us. Send us an email if you're certain your business should be featured on our show.
All right, I should have moved mine. We are back for the second half. So welcome back, you guys. Welcome back, all the listeners. They're like, we didn't go anywhere. It was we're listening in a car. It just comes back on. Why does this guy say that?
Well, we had a nice break.
We had a little break.
We needed a little break.
Chat.
When you got these headphones on, your ears get a little hot. I think
It's great for the winter out here, though.
my earmuffs.
Well, you just have overactive ears. I've noticed.
Oh, yeah, they move a lot.
Very active. Like your like Sam's ears And
emote.
like they're like part of when he's talking, they're kind of like moving around like radar dishes. Or
Yes,
something.
you're right. Yeah, they. I can actually, if I think about it, I can move them at will.
I know some people can do that.
I can make one go and then the other go.
Special skills. I'm sure they come in handy for something.
My wife and kids know when I'm actually upset. Like if I'm truly getting angry because they pin right back to my head.
Oh, like a dog's ears.
And they're like, oh shit, his ears moved. Like, we better stop.
Physical cue.
Yeah, I like that one. Anyway, so second half of the show, we've had a fun time. We've had some laughs on this one. We'll just tell you, if you're listening, we have a lot of good guests lined up. The show is alive and strong. And as much as we enjoy conveying information about construction, and we appreciate that the audience wants to hear that stuff, this show is in service of software that we are going to be putting out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we really want to share a little more detail with you guys.
Yeah. So we are in the process of building that. We are raising funds to build that software. We have great partners. We've had an event here at the shop where we talked about our software. So now it's time to introduce it to you a little bit. So the name of the software is JoContractor, just like the show.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Isn't that clever?
So it will,
Alice?
but if you are not familiar with an app or an IT thing or a new startup, it really is on your phone, this is the mere basics I had to explain to somebody.
I love it.
It's like, what is it? And I'm like, well, look at your phone. See all those little squares? There's going to be one that says JoContractor on it.
I love that. That's where we have to start.
Right.
It's true. It is true. So let's just go through the preliminary stuff there.
Yeah.
On your phone, you know that there are things called apps. We all understand that. They fall into, I think, sort of four categories. One is games. Everybody knows that they have a button on their thing where they can play a game. There's another button on there that you can find that turns on your flashlight. Like that's just a single function thing. Then you've got things like Uber or Lyft that perform multiple functions for you. I don't know if, for those who are listening who are a little bit younger, you used to have to call a cab company, and then the cab company would get your address, and they would dispatch out to a cab and say, you got to go pick this person up at that address. And then they didn't know exactly where they were going to take you, maybe even.
No.
It was all...
Or how long it would take to get you, when they came to get you.
How much it would cost, none of that.
Right, or you had to walk or ride a bike. I mean, if
Right. So those types of apps, those multifunction ones, take a whole bunch of different processes that used to happen in one way, and they combine them into a package that works another way. So that's starting to get into the functionality side of things, right? And then the last one is your social apps, which take you to a place. So if you hit the button on your phone that says Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn even or whatever, you're going to a place to interact with people. And the software that we're building is app accessed. So it doesn't actually live on your phone in the app. You push the button and you're going to a place, and that place is like your office. And in that office, we give you functionality that makes your life easier if you're a contractor. And that functionality is if you have customers, then it's customer resource management. So if you're not currently using a CRM platform, we are giving you a way to manage the information that you need on a daily basis about your clients. Right?
Right.
So that's part one. And why is that important? You want to talk about that for a minute?
Well, you might want to remember their names.
Right.
You might want to know their address, and your employees might. So at this point of the game, we're doing a lot of wasted time, very inefficient of sending the address again, sending the client name again. anything about the client, the basics. If they have a dog, it's really nice to know the dog's name so it
That's
doesn't
right.
bite you.
Yeah.
Maybe bring a treat because know there's a dog.
And the homeowner knows that you care. When you show up and you can remember their kids' names, their dogs' names, the cat name, parakeet, whatever. You can throw these bits of information in that really cement the relationship that you're forming with them.
So that side and the efficiency side of your employees just opening their phone instead of texting or calling you every time you send them to that job.
Which is constantly happening.
Constantly.
Right.
And that it's a constant struggle to manage these kinds of things, to have them stored. And a lot of times it'll be a client that I'll go and I'll work for a year later. A lot of that information is the same. And also having storage in there where I can store information about, the paint color of the room that I painted, because now I'm cutting a hole in the wall to remodel something else there.
That's right. So that gets into sort of the second half of it, which is project management. But I'll talk about a little bit more about the homeowner side of it. When you're a contractor, like if you go to your office, you have a file cabinet. Or you might do this on your computer with Google Drive or something, but you put information into a space so that you can access it later, right? And what JoContractor is doing is streamlining that process for you, making it a lot easier to enter the data in the first place and to retrieve it and share it with all of your coworkers, right? So if you're a big enough company, you might have, you might be using Builder-Trend or something like that. There already are Co-Construct. Yep. There are softwares out there that can service larger companies, but there is nothing for the average Joe, which is where JoContractor comes from. So that was Merrick and I talking a while back, and he kept saying average Joe.
Or no, we kept calling him JoContractor when we were talking about our avatar or like our ideal client. JoContractor doesn't care about that.
That's right. That's right. And I'm like, well, there's the name, man. There it is.
Yeah.
So
nice job.
It's perfect because it does. We are building this. So it's a segment of the market, or it's a group of people for whom we all know as contractors ourselves, they just haven't built anything for us yet. That's not that's specifically made for us to do these things.
Right.
So homeowners, so you start with that. You've got, CRM, customer resource management. You need to know information about your homeowners. You also need to know information about which projects those homeowners have had you done. So you may have one project for a homeowner, or you may have 14 projects that you've done for this homeowner. They're all different, and they all have bits of information that need to be stored and shared. And so a project, on the project level with JoContractor, you'll have things like, where are my plans and my permit and my estimates? And, what paint color did we use? Which subcontractors came to this project? What windows did we buy? These bits of information need a place, a home, to be stored. And when you're on your phone, you want to be able to hit a button, go to your office, and get that information instantly.
Right.
And that's what JoContractor is doing.
Yeah, and I think that's something we've all kind of built our own. We've all had to build our own system, whether it's paper files or it's using spreadsheets. And I was using like 5 different types of tools when my general contracting thing was really taking off, a CRM, using spreadsheets, trying to get everything to link together, and then trying to figure out a way that I can share that information, and I have to have the person on the other end adopt whatever platform it was.
It's such a pain in the butt.
If you're in the trades, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And usually you're using a mix of those, so they don't, you've got Excel, you've got Google, and so if you create your own and you're using a whole bunch of different spreadsheets.
That's right.
Things.
And you're piecing together and using tools that typically, like if you got into ClickUp or any of these other like project-y management things, they were built for someone else. They're tools that were made for a different industry, and then you're trying to adapt it to your needs, right. And that doesn't really work. So I really like to try and make this as clear as possible. What you are doing is using an app on your phone to access a space, and that space is your office, your digital office. right? And we are making every effort to make this as simple as possible. We do not want our users to be to find this complicated,
Right.
or complicated. You should be able to put these things in there. The last thing you want to do as a contractor when you get done with a long day of work, and usually as a small shop, like, you're spending part of your day selling, you're spending part of your day managing, you're spending part of your day working, like physical labor, and then you get home and you've got to like mess with data. That sucks.
Yeah, usually doing proposals in front of the TV because it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's the only time that nobody's calling your phone.
Yeah, it's an all day, every day kind of thing usually. But you do need to know when you're like where the insurance cert is for your sub, or when that expires. And you do need to know if, like, what paint color did we use 4 years ago on this project, because they're calling me right now to ask.
Right.
That data does need to live somewhere. Your life is, as a contractor, is better if it's better organized. And so JoContractor, our primary function right off the bat is to put you into an office in the digital cyberspace, right? But to give you a tool that you can use that's simple, effective, and doesn't cost a lot.
And saves you a ton of time.
Yep. I would say, let's say you were even to save like 6 hours a month or something, right? Like, that's a lot of time. I mean, we're all running around so busy.
And it's valuable time. It's not like that time. It's not, you're not saving that time out in the world because you have to go and you have to build the stuff and you have to deal with the people and all of that stuff. It's the time that you're spending with your family. It's the time that you're spending going camping. It's the time that you're losing is your personal time.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's hard to account for that time. It's a pain in the butt to lose it. And you lose so much of it, and then all of a sudden you're older. Like, it's gone. I have so much respect for people in the trades. We all do. And it's not an easy profession. We love it. We all have gotten a lot out of it. But it's kind of a grind sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anything we can do to make it easier would be a plus. And I think, with three of us here, having been in this career path, and we know what the needs are out there. And we're excited to share that with everybody out there and see it come to fruition.
Yeah, that's right. And so, the last thing, I know our industry, and I know the people in our industry, and I know you're tired of switching platforms. You're tired of, tech is not necessarily everybody's best friend in the contracting world. But I'll tell you, that you use it every day. You know that you're going to need this. You're going to get the phone call from Steve or whatever that says, "What's the garage code at this job again?"
And you're going to stop what you're doing. You're going to put down your saw
all the time.
And then you're going to have a 5-minute phone call, and then you're not going to know where the half hour went.
That's right.
And you're going to have to look it up because you don't remember either.
You're going to have to. We've all been through it. We all know it. I constantly, when I'm doing my tile projects, there is information flying back and forth via text that is not well organized.
No.
So it will do more. And to be clear, our software is not completed.
But we are doing it. It's happening.
Oh yeah, we're months away here
Yeah.
from it actually coming out. So we just wanted to introduce you to it so that you understand, what it is we do and why we're doing it. And to be fair, we'd love to get people signed up early. We'd love to have people support us in any way they can. We'd love to have people be on a wait list, and we will give you a deal. We will let you try it. You can. We're really trying to make something for the small companies that need something. They need an organization. They need a tool. So
Something I was thinking about is the interface with the maps. So one of the things I'm really excited about is you'd be able to see all of your projects on a map.
Right.
That are ongoing. So you can be like, oh, I'm driving right by Susie's house on the way over here. While I'm at Home Depot, I should grab those 2x4s, drop by there, or stop in and see how the crew's doing. or to be able to see which are prospects, which are ongoing projects, which ones are nearing completion on a map, and just be able to visualize everything in the morning before I go out and I plan out my day. Because I spend a lot of time driving from
everyone
one
does.
place to the next, and it's like I can't plan out an efficient route really, because I got to deal with what's on fire or what's the most profitable.
Yep. Yeah, I also think being able to look back in time and say, 2019, how many kitchens did I do? And you can look back and see like where they were and which ones you did, and then you can say, okay, well, how many kitchens did I do with these sets of contract or your subs or whatever? So you can kind of start to see maybe where you need to put your effort for sales and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you forget. I mean, if a project goes by and you're like, what plumber did I use there? What roof? I don't know. I usually stick to the same ones, but here and there's like, what concrete guy who did that excavation?
Totally.
I remember I liked them, but I don't. But there's so many business cards, you just throw them in a desk and you move on sometimes. And so it'd be really nice to go, I know on that one project we had, and where would I find it? Go to the file folder, go to the computer. You're just having it all in one place is just going to just be a game changer.
It is.
I know. I don't even want to start up another big business until I have JoContractor, or a big small business.
Yeah.
Until I have JoContractor, because
Right.
it's like it's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
I got to build a whole thing that this would just do.
So that's the funny part about having an idea like this, because this started about 5 years ago, right? And started as project partner, and it would not be progressing if it weren't for you two. I mean, I needed partners in.
Sam's the brainchild here.
Well, it's thanks.
The creative end here.
He's blushing.
Oh yeah,
You can't see
we don't
that.
like to talk about me. I'm Minnesotan. Don't do that. No. I recognize the need for it because we all have recognized the need for it. We all know that this needs to exist. And actually, I had tried. We got our sirens. I had tried co-constructing. It was way overly complicated. It did everything that it
And way more.
It did everything it needed
So
to do,
complicated.
and then it did so much other crap, and it tried to force me to get everyone in my company to be on the same platform, and all of my subcontractors and all of my vendors, and to get all this information into it. I didn't have time for all of that. I mean, I spent a lot of money and like 6 months of my life trying to onboard this platform that was supposed to help me, and all I really wanted was a simple tool to store some information.
Yeah, simple's good.
Yeah.
And when we did our little presentation here, we had quite a few people, a couple handfuls,
Yeah.
and including then my crew also. I invited them all to come, and the only thing I keep hearing is, when are you guys going to get that done? We need that. When are you guys going to get that done? We need that.
That's right.
And that's from our project managers to our carpenters to our electricians. So.
Yeah, I think that's great. So if you are interested in this, just reach out to us. I mean, that's great. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
But if you are a contractor, especially, reach out to us. Obviously, that's fine. But be ready for it. We're coming with something that we'll keep you up to date. We should be for sure right around the start of the new year, I would say. So would be.
We haven't talked about the social piece of this at all.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about the secondary features.
I think that's maybe not version 1. Is that what we talking about?
It'll be the first kernels of it'll be in there. Mm-hmm. So now if you've got you're the contractor, you push the button, you're in your office, right? And if you can imagine a bunch of other contractors pushing the button on their phone and they're in their digital office getting information, it's like their file cabinet in their office, right? Well, you can also visualize then that you're in an office building with all of the other contractors. You're just all in your own office in that building. I know that's maybe a little abstract, but it's kind of the way the data structure works, right? Well, if you're all in there, then it becomes a directory. So now there's all of the users are part of a directory of contractors. And we're talking plumbers, electricians, general contractors, carpenters, roofers. Anyone who needs our tool and can use it becomes part of that that system, that bigger space. And that directory, what does that mean for you? Well, it allows you to be social within it, right? So we are adding a social component so you can go and reach out to the other people in your industry and start asking questions. You can even hire them, you can find them. And if it's now, so we're adding a little bit of social to it. So there's the tool, but it's also a space, and that space we're going to make it so that you can be social. So if your clients do want to use this tool to help them remember the work that was done on their house, all of the data that you've now put in there, don't be afraid. It's not a lot of data. I know contractor, I'm telling you, it's going to be okay. A little bit of software, it's going to be good for you.
And we're not going to sell your data like Google is. Like I put my whole system into Google and I'm like, okay, well, these tools are working okay for what I'm trying to do. But I'm like, I don't even own this stuff anymore. I can't even put it onto a hard drive. I mean, it was kind of freaky.
Well, and that's the difference, I guess, between data and information. I should be saying that you're going to put your information into our system. We are not going to sell data on our users. Right. This is a private system for you. But it also can be, because we add in social, it can be an exchange of information. You can reach out to other people in your industry and ask them just questions about what's going on. Or you can have a homeowner, they can come in, they get a little different role in the system. But if you want to communicate about your project with them and store the information about their house, you can grant them access to it. So now they have their own paint colors and they have their own receipts from the range that you put in and the refrigerator. And, they can see their own plans, their own permit. You can decide what you want them to have, which is nice. But you can also have communications with them that then get pinned directly to a project. So if you have a project and you're having choices being made and you want to use the system to do that, and they say, yes, I would like this color, or I would like that tile to be put in, you can have that archived right to the project so that when they come back and say, I'm not sure I said yes to that or whatever, you can say, well, yeah, you did, and it's right here.
Right.
That never happens.
Yeah.
That never happens. The thing is, that's change orders, right? And we're not calling it change orders. We're not doing it in here, but it's helpful to protect yourself. You do need to understand where those decisions are being made, and it's nice to have it all in one place.
It's a change of scope is a lot more easy to digest.
Important for
it's less scary.
For everybody. It's important for everybody.
It is important.
To see the information and conversations instead of printing every email off and putting it in a file, because you can't copy everyone and move it to some special.
Oh, it's such a pain in the butt.
I know.
Yeah.
There's no good options.
So that is another feature. And then, a little ways down the road, if you think of it that way. Now, if you've got a space with all of the contractors and all of the subs and all of the other people, and I don't want to overcomplicate this, but that same directory becomes a place for clients to potentially find you. So if we have clients coming in, if JoContractor on the one hand is a building full of contractors who are all doing their little office-y stuff there and it's a directory, well, when a client comes to the main level, the base level, there's a big board that says, here's all the contractors living right next to you or in your area. So we can, because I think that Angie's List and Thumbtack and what's the other one? The other big one that Angie's bought out a while back,
And
Home Advisor. Yeah, I think they're predatory.
Yeah.
And I think we've all been we've all found that out the hard way over the years. And but it's true that people need to be able to find you. So if you go on Google, if a homeowner goes on Google, they're probably not going to find you unless you're paying, to be first in the rankings.
Or you're the only guy doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got some niche, right?
Right.
But most of us don't. So Google is unreliable for people to say, I'm looking for a kitchen remodeler. You are not likely to be the one that they find because you aren't paying enough to be at the top. Other people are, right? That's one way that you get a little, that's predatory in a certain way too. They force you to need to pay to get your search results up higher, right?
Right.
Same thing with Angie's List and Thumbtack and the rest of them. If you want this client, we've got the best clients in the world. They're going to be great. Pay us a bunch of money, and then we'll give you the lead. And you might not even get the project, or even if you do, they might not be the best. So we're using this as a directory where it's very honest. We're not going to take anything from those homeowners. We're not going to take anything from you, but you end up in a system where a homeowner can come in and not get, I call it being molested by like, in the good sense of the word or whatever. Anyway, if a homeowner goes on Google and says, I'm just thinking about getting my kitchen done, you are going to get accosted. That's a good word. By Google and everybody else. That's like, you've just threw up a big flag out there that says, hey, this person's about to buy a kitchen. We better bombard them. So the next thing you know, any social media space you go to, everything you do, they're like, do you need a kitchen? Do you need a kitchen?
Right.
You want a kitchen? That's not cool. So in this system, if someone wants to download JoContractor, this will be like version 3. But as a homeowner, you can come in there, look through the directory, find people near you, look them over a little bit. We're not going to do any rankings and ratings where they have to pay to get up that, but you can see the work that they do because it'll be displayed in there, and you can decide who you want to hire. So,
yep.
I love it.
And one of the cool things now is that
So refreshing.
a lot of these APIs, which basically is two apps talking to each other. That technology's gotten better and better. So, there's a good chance that apps that you're already using can integrate with this one over time, or
Totally.
even in the early versions.
Totally.
So
we'll add useful functionality. But that's why if you're a contractor and you're hearing this and you want to reach out to us, let us know what you want. We'll get features in there. But we've got version 1. We already know exactly what we're doing. But over time, we will change it. And I know how tech averse a lot of smaller companies, small contractors in general can be. But we can't let the technical revolution pass us by. We need tools like this, and we know it.
But simple and efficient is our goal, and that's the whole plan, so that you don't have to learn it for a month and and your employees won't ever learn it, and
it just can't be complicated.
No, it can't. So that's what we're aiming toward, and I think we've got a really good start and a good plan, and getting it out is our goal.
Yep, and we're working on it. Yeah. So, well, there you go. There
we go. There's a short version or the long version.
It's been suggested to me by friends that I don't do a short version. Like you don't have a short and edited version of anything. You always go full on. But anyway, there it is, everyone. Yeah. So thanks for listening. We'll keep you updated on JoContractor, and we really appreciate your listening to our show. The fact that you do that's awesome. So thanks.
Yeah, thanks, listeners.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for listening to another amazing episode of the most important show out there. Before we go, we want to thank you again for supporting us and for all the lovely things you say about us on social media. Shows like this grow with help from people like you. And remember, keep sending us your questions. We really appreciate the stories and the great insights we gain from our audience. We also want to remind you that you can buy shirts, hats, and more at JoContractorshow.com. Be good to each other, and we'll catch you on the next show.